I'm Venom 2 million, and I'm here to say that I'm at Be-Moor Radio all day. This is my job, the general manager. People want to talk stuff, but I don't know what rhymes with manager because I can't think of anything right now. But Tom Rothman thought of something to say when he was asked about the Spider-Man spin-off films, and he said that we're going to get news about it soon. He said we'll get news about it soon. What does that mean? Well, here are my thoughts. Number one, news about it soon, meaning we're going to find out something else about it. What do I think he's going to say, though? Well, I'm going to first have this approach of if I was in this position, what would I do? Now, Sony is a conglomerate of corporation that, aren't really in the financial position that they were once in. Sony Pictures in particular is in an even worse predicament. They were going to go bankrupt, and actually the Amazing Spider-Man 1 film was one of the things that really resurrected them and stopped them from going bankrupt. That and Men in Black 3, but mostly the Amazing Spider-Man kept them afloat. Now, the Amazing Spider-Man franchise basically crashed and burned. They really were just disappointed with the amount of money that they made from the film and the critical reception of the film. And they saw there was a lot of damage that was happening to the Spider-Man brand. So they ended up making a deal with Marvel. And on top of that, they also fired Andrew Garfield. But they made the deal with Marvel. And they also had these plans in the midst of them making this deal, before them making this deal, of really creating their own Spider-Man cinematic universe. Now, we had a lot of information come out about the Spider-Man cinematic universe that essentially said that this universe would not be connected to the MCU. And that it would instead solely be based around the Spider-Man characters. If I was Tom Rothman and I made this deal with Marvel, in which we're getting Spider-Man Homecoming, and I still want to make my own franchise or have my own series that does not solely revolve around the Spider-Man character, and I wanted to make money, I would have this franchise be a part of the MCU as well, because the MCU is a cash cow. They are an entity that just makes money. Everything that they make makes money. So I know that if I have Venom the movie, there's going to be that appeal. Oh, it's a Venom movie, right? But if it's like Venom the movie, and then Captain America shows up, and then Iron Man shows up, and then all of that, then I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, because people are gonna be like, oh my God, they're making a Venom movie with Captain America and Iron Man in it. I want to see that, So I, as the CEO, I, as the person in charge, would make that business decision, and I would do whatever it takes to get to that point. Now, the issue that could arise with Marvel and Sony making these films, or Sony rather making these films, and these films being within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is that Marvel, they have a plan. They know what they want to do. They have everything planned out. This is what they want to do. And they don't necessarily want to rely on another studio telling them what they can and can't do. If you look at the Marvel and Sony deals, Sony has creative control, but Marvel has creative control, meaning Marvel says this is what we're going to do, and Sony does have the authority, the right to say, no, you're not going to do that. But ultimately, they're not going to do that. Why? Because of their relationship with Marvel, because Marvel's making them money. You know what I'm saying? They're making them money, that cheese, that cheddar. So if I was in control, I would go to Marvel and say, listen, we had plans for a Venom movie, a Carnage movie, a Black Cat movie, a Sinister Six movie. We still want to do these films. We still want to do them. You guys know what you're doing. We want these films to be tied to you all. But we want these films to have our own flair, our own take. Can you guys help us perfect our formula? And at the end of the day, not only do we make money, but you make money as well, because you are helping us perfect our formula. So we'll we'll have a deal in which you make a percentage, we make a percentage. We're the ones developing the film. We're the ones taking credit for the film. We're the ones making money from the film. We're the ones filming the film, and we give you all your cut. Similar to the deal that we're doing with you for Marvel Spider-Man or Spider-Man Homecoming, but it's our own flavor. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I would do. The talk of, these Spider-Man solo or spin-off films not having to do with the MCU, I don't think that is a wise decision, especially when you have a brand that is so recognized and is so successful. That it's not a wise decision to necessarily split the brand when you have this is that Spider-Man, and this is that Spider-Man, and this is Venom. This has to do with this Spider-Man, not with that one. So you get what I'm saying? I don't think that's a very smart idea. When it comes to story complications, that's when you need to have that partnership. You need to have that collaboration, that joint operation between Marvel and Sony. And Marvel and Sony, I think, have that. I think they are doing something that has never been done, and something that is literally planting the seed for other studios to do this. We see Fox and Marvel, they're mending their bridges. Fox is like, yeah, let's get something worked out. And Marvel is like, yeah, let's get something worked out. Marvel gets all their characters, Marvel gets to make money, Marvel has brand recognition. Sony, they'll make money, Fox will make money. So I think that the news that is going to come out is that the solo films, the spin-off films are going to happen. They are going to happen. We are going to have Venom. We are going to have Black Cat. We are going to have the Sinister Six. But these films will be within the MCU. And these films may even have their own tone, you know. Marvel, they have a tone, you know. But I think Marvel is smart enough to understand not everybody has to be constrained to a tone, you know. That's the one thing. I'm having a conversation with one of my friends, and they say that the reason why DC doesn't work is because DC is so boring and dark and but the thing is that the dark tone is not the reason why the films don't work. The dark tone is not the reason why the films are boring. You know, the dark tone is something that's different from Marvel. People need to understand that difference is not what makes it bad. The execution is what makes it bad. So I think with this talk of phase 3 ending what we know of Marvel, and phase 4 being this fresh start, that phase 4 could usher in this change of tone, this change of characters, and just this change of what we think of the MCU, what we think we know. So, the news, I will just hypothesize and guess and say based on my own mind. The news that Tom Rothman will say will be the Spider-Man solo spinoffs. Why do I keep saying solo? The Spider-Man spinoffs are happening, and that they will be in the MCU. And that Sony will have creative control like they do with the Marvel Spider-Man Homecoming. But they'll be working in close collaboration with Marvel to make these films the best they possibly can be. And with that, do not expect these films to run in the same formula or by the same formula that the Marvel films currently do run by. That's what I think they're gonna do. I mean, why else? What else would you do? I mean, I'm thinking from a business point of view. Again, I'm the general manager of a radio station, so I don't want to say that like, oh, I know what I'm doing, I know business, blah, blah, blah. No, but it's just thinking from the business side of things, in terms of brand awareness, in terms of brand trust, in terms of consumer trust, that's a deal that is a win-win. You know, Marvel, sure, you know, they want to do Venom. Now, the only thing that could possibly hinder this is if Marvel says, no, what? No, we don't want to do dark, okay? Or no, we don't want to do a tonal shift. No, we're not doing that. But I don't think Marvel's going to do that, because I think they're smart enough to realize that, you know, we've been doing the same thing for so long. Let's try something else. And I think that we've seen Netflix as their testing ground. People love the Netflix series, and these Netflix series have a different tone. I'm not saying that the films are going to be like dark, but I think that we are going to begin to see that shift, and we're going to see that shift in Avengers Infinity War. I don't think it's going to be laughy and jokey. I think it's going to be different, like the Winter Soldier was different. I think it's going to be like that. I think Thanos is going to literally be that man that's going to be killing people, and he's going to say it. He's going to say, I will kill you. And I think that the MCU is going to change, and yeah, I think that change is going to happen with the Spider-Man spin-off films being in the MCU, and with the other characters being introduced and more stories being told. Characters being mutants, possibly. Just a variety of different things. So, those are my thoughts. What do you all think? What do you think about my thoughts? Are my thoughts just so? What are you? This is all over the place again. This is me talking off of my head. I didn't write anything down. And I maybe will clarify some things in a later video. I may even backtrack on some things that I've said in this video. But what do you guys think? I really want to have this conversation in that comment section below. You know I'll be down there. You know I'll be down there. Share this video around with all of your friends. Share it around with all of your friends. I am Venom telling you all to follow me on my social medias. That's in the description down there. If you want to know about my radio station, description down there also has some things. Yes, that's about it. How are you guys doing? You doing good? I hope so. I hope you're doing quite well. I'm doing well, college. Stressed out a little bit, but not really, not really. Having fun, working, tired. Thank you for watching. Again, I've taken up quite amount of your time, quite chunk of your time, but I hope you've gotten your daily dosage of Venom. And we were gonna post this video yesterday, but again, couldn't do it because of work. I'm at work right now. So, thank you for watching again. Share this video around with all of your friends. It's very interesting to think about what I think Tom Rothman's news will be. What I think the news for the Spider-Man spin-off films will be. Yeah, that's the name of this video. Yeah, I just thought of it. What I think the names of the Spider-Man, or no, not the names, what I think the news for the Spider-Man spin-off films will be. Yeah, that's the name of this video. Or what I think the news for the Venom film will be. I don't know, but I'm done. Have a good one. Love you all. Peace. Comment, like, subscribe. Peace. There we go. Peace. You see I'm tired? I am. Peace. Have a good one.
Venom 2 million.